I'm Scott Allen Miller, and here on Sam IT, I'm going to continue the talk that I started last time about how going to or skipping college or university colors our perception of our career positions. And I wanted to take this to the next level and talk about individual jobs, because this gets even more interesting, I think, than what we just discussed. In the individual job situation, we often hear from people who have degrees. I got this job because I have a degree. And I don't mean it in the context that we had in our last video where it's I got to this career point because I have a degree. That's a broader thing. This is specific jobs. And I hear this one a lot. Someone will say to me, well, it's a good thing I went to college because I wouldn't be able to have the job that I have today had I gone to college. And I look at the jobs that they have, and they're always a bit surprising. They're never a job that I would think, wow, I'm really looking for that specific job. Most of the time, the problem here is that if they had not gone to college, they could also have gotten that job. But because they did go to college, they feel that having gone to college is the factor that got them in the door. And it may have been influential. It may have been how they met someone. And so in those kind of contexts, it's just you were in the right place at the right time and that place happened to be college at that time. Okay, but when it comes to actually getting in the door, people who went to college often believe that when they see, say, requirements for a degree, that they're actually requirements, or that it's their college degree was the thing that put them over the edge to be the top candidate. It's easy to believe that because you've gone to college and you have that position. But if you take people who didn't go to college and put them in the same position, most of the time they're just as competitive going into those jobs, except having skipped college never itself makes you think, oh, I skipped college, that's how I got this job. We don't think that way when we didn't do something, even though not doing something could be what led you there as well, just in a completely different way. But the idea that college is a barrier breaker for a lot of jobs seems likely to people who have those jobs and have degrees. But any person who doesn't have a degree, well, most people who don't have degrees, will find that those barriers don't exist where they're implied, and that the people who are saying that their college degrees are what got them past those barriers are just mostly believing that there's barriers that don't actually exist. So when, for example, we see job listings that say you have to have a degree, people with degrees who then sometimes get those jobs say, see, I needed my degree. But people who don't have degrees also get those jobs with about the same frequency and say, see, you didn't need the degree, it just the degree didn't hurt you. And that's really important to understand, that because of the way that we perceive that we got somewhere because of something we have, that getting that job with a degree doesn't tell us anything. But getting the job without the degree does tell us very clearly that the degrees are not doing the thing that we assume, which is breaking those barriers. It may be beneficial. That doesn't mean that the degree was not beneficial as a career or for that individual job. It may have contributed, but it doesn't create an opportunity where the lack of a degree takes it away. That's not how it normally works. So learning how to tell that context and perspective can help us read into what we see other people say and learn how to use that for ourselves. Because you will very often, when looking for advice on your career, talk to people who say, I got a degree and it got me here. And you need to understand that it very easily did not get them there. They just think that because they had the degree. If you couldn't find people without degrees who also had those positions, that would be very suggestive. But that people without degrees almost never complain about it being specifically more difficult than the people with degrees suggests that there's really no benefit to the degrees in that specific way. Thanks for joining me today. Remember to like and subscribe, and sponsor us on Patreon, of course, if you want to see more of these videos, and comment below about how degrees may or may not have helped you, or how they seem to have helped you. And remember that when you post, because people will, about how their degree certainly helped them, remember, you can't prove that unless you went back and know that with the exact same experience that you would not have gotten the degree. And there's just no way to know that, or not gotten the job, because there's just no way to know that. And understanding that you can't know what the cost of lost opportunity was is what we wish colleges would be teaching more often.